A dimly lit dive bar in Brooklyn? The kind where the air hangs heavy with stale beer and forgotten dreams. And there he was, leaning against the scarred oak counter like a ghost I'd buried but never stopped mourning. 1 year since I'd walked out of our cramped Astoria apartment, slamming the door on the echo of his pleas, convinced our love was just another casualty of young, reckless hearts. But tonight, as the jukebox crooned some faded Springsteen ballad about thunder roads and broken promises, our eyes locked across the haze of cigarette smoke curling like unspoken regrets. Alex. My Alex. Or what used to be. I froze mid-sip, the whiskey burning a path down my throat that felt too much like the ache I'd nursed alone in my one-bedroom off Flatbush. 30 now. With that same tousled dark hair falling over his forehead, but sharper edges, crow's feet from too many late shifts slinging drinks at this very hole in the wall. His broad shoulders filling out a faded flannel shirt that smelled faintly of rain and cheap cologne even from 10 feet away. 20. Still sketching logos for indie bands in a cubicle that paid the rent but starved the soul. My graphic designer fingers twitching now for a pencil to capture the way his jaw clenched, like he was fighting a storm inside. He saw me too. That flicker in his hazel eyes, surprise, then something raw, like a wound ripping open. The bar's murmur faded to a dull roar in my ears, drowned out by the thud of my pulse. Wire. We'd agreed, no contact. Clean break after the fights that escalated from whispers to shouts, me accusing him of drifting into his workaholic haze, him firing back that I was too damn scared to commit when the going got real. Lovers turned strangers, or so I told myself every night scrolling through his ghosted Instagram, thumb hovering over the unfollow button I never pressed. He pushed off the bar, weaving through the Friday night crowd of locals nursing drafts and laughing too loud to mask their own loneliness. The floorboards creaked under his boots, each step pulling me back to lazy Sundays in bed, his calloused hand tracing lazy circles on my chest while rain pattered against the fire escape. "Thin," he said, voice low and gravelly, cutting through the din like a knife through fog. Close now. Close enough to catch the faint whiskey on his breath, the warmth radiating off him like a hearth I hadn't realized I was freezing without. Alex. My name for him came out choked, the half-laugh, half-sigh escaping before I could cage it. The stool scraped as I shifted, the vinyl cool against my jeans, grounding me in this surreal collision. Around us, the bar pulsed, clink of glasses, a woman's trill of laughter from the corner booth, the sizzle of greasy fries hitting the fryer behind the pass-through. But it all blurred, narrowing to just us, two men who'd once mapped each other's bodies like sacred territory, now standing on foreign soil. Good, he murmured, eyes scanning my face like he was memorizing it anew, lingering on the faint stubble I'd let grow out. The way my button-down clung a little looser now, thanks to skipped meals and gym sessions turned therapy. But I looked wrecked, shadows under my eyes from deadlines and dates that fizzled before dessert. But his gaze held no pity, just that quiet hunger I'd always mistaken for possession. Yeah, you too. Still breaking hearts behind the bar. I bet. I aimed for casual, but it landed flat, laced with the bitterness I'd swallowed like bad coffee. He winced, rubbing the back of his neck, a tell I'd forgotten until it hit me like a gut punch. The gesture? Always when he was cornered, vulnerable. The air between us thickened, charged with the unsaid. The night I found his phone buzzing with texts from that coworker, innocent flirtations that snowballed into my paranoia, his defensiveness, our implosion. He glanced away, toward the neon glow of the Budweiser sign flickering like a dying heartbeat. "Can I buy you a drink? Or is it just for a minute?" Not a question. Really, more a plea wrapped in that Brooklyn grit, vowels stretched like taffy. I nodded, words failing as he slid onto the stool beside mine, our knees brushing under the bar. Electric. A spark that raced up my thigh. Igniting memories, tangled sheets in July heat. His lips on my neck. Whispering promises we couldn't keep. The bartender, a grizzled vet named Mick, slid over 2 fingers of bourbon without asking. Winking like he knew the score. Alex's fingers grazed mine as he passed the glass. A touch so fleeting it might have been accident, but the jolt said otherwise. We clinked. The crystal chimes swallowed by the bar's symphony. And sipped in silence at first, the amber liquid warming the chill that had settled in my chest since the breakup. "Tell me about your life," he finally said. Voice soft under the cover of a rowdy pool game breaking out nearby, cues cracking balls. Cheers erupting like fireworks. The designs. "You still doing those album covers for the punk kids?" I exhaled. A long, shaky breath that carried the weight of a year compressed. "Yeah. Landed one for this queer indie band out of Bushwick last month. Their EP's blowing up on TikTok." Pride flickered, but it dimmed quick, overshadowed by the what if. What if we'd stayed? Would I have burned out less? Laughed more? To smile, crooked, genuine, tugged at something deep. Uncoiling the knot I'd tied around my heart. That's my Ethan. Always creating. Hung there, possessive and tender, stirring the embers I'd banked low. We talked then, halting at first, words tumbling like loose gravel. His promotion to shift lead, the stray tabby he'd adopted that scratched up his couch, my sister's wedding I'd skipped to avoid the empty +1 seat, the therapy sessions where I'd dissected us until we bled metaphorically on the couch. Laughter slipped in. Unexpected, remembering that disastrous road trip to the Finger Lakes, where the car broke down and we made love in the back seat under stars that felt infinite. But under it, the tension simmered, a low boil. His hand found the bar top, inches from mine, fingers drumming a rhythm that matched my heartbeat. The scent of him, wood smoke and citrus, wafted with each lean in, pulling me under like a riptide. "I miss you," he admitted suddenly, voice cracking on the edge of a whisper, eyes locking mine with an intensity that pinned me. The bar noise faded to white static. I could hear my own breath hitch, the faint rustle of his shirt as his chest rose and fell too fast. "Alex." Protest died on my lips. Truth was, I'd missed him too, the way he'd hum off-key to my playlists. Burn toast but make killer eggs Benedict. Hold me through nightmares of coming out to my conservative folks back in Ohio. But the hurt lingered, sharp as shattered glass underfoot. He leaned closer, elbow brushing mine, the contact sending shivers despite the bar's humid warmth. I was an idiot. That coworker thing? Nothing. But I let it fester because I was scared you'd see through me. The guy who grew up in that shitbox trailer park in Jersey, faking it till I could afford to be real with you. His voice dropped, each word a confession carved from bone. Tears glistened in his eyes, unashamed. And damn if it didn't crack me open. Around us, oblivious patrons clinked bottles. A couple in the booth argued in hushed tones. The jukebox shifting to Adele's soul-wrenching ache about rolling in the deep. I swallowed hard, throat tight as sandpaper. I was scared too. Thought love like ours was too good, too fragile. Like it'd shatter if I held on. My hand moved of its own accord, covering his steady calluses from pouring endless rounds, a testament to his quiet grit. He turned it palm up, lacing our fingers, thumb stroking my knuckle in that slow, deliberate way that used to unravel me. Then, the unexpected. He slid off the stool, pulling me with him, not rough, but urgent, like a man grasping at salvation. The bar door swung open behind us, letting in a gust of November chill that carried the distant honk of cabs and the metallic tang of city rain. Under the sodium street lamp's hazy glow, he cupped my face, rough thumbs brushing my cheeks, and kissed me. Not tentative, not testing, fierce, devouring, like he'd been starving for this taste of home. I melted into it, hands fisting his shirt, the world narrowing to the salt of his tears mingling with mine, the distant wail of a siren underscoring our reunion like a dramatic score. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed, breaths mingling in white puffs against the cold. "Come home," he whispered, voice breaking on the plea. "Not to the apartment, not yet, but to us, to the messy, beautiful chaos we'd fled." I nodded, words failing again, but my arms around his waist said enough. We walked then, hands linked, past shuttered delis and steaming manhole covers, the city an indifferent witness to our fragile restart. No grand gestures, no fairy tale bows, just two gay men in their prime. Professions pulling us through the grind, choosing each other amid the neon blur of American nights. Back at his place, the cat eyeing us warily from the windowsill, we didn't rush. Collapsed on the couch instead, his head on my shoulder, my fingers carting through his hair as the clock ticked past midnight. "We'll fight again," I murmured, inhaling the familiar musk of his skin, the faint lavender from his shampoo. "Yeah," he agreed, chuckling low, the vibration rumbling through me. "But we'll fight for this too." Sleep came easy then, tangled limbs and steady breaths, the first real peace in a year. Dawn crept in through cracked blinds, painting the room in soft golds. I woke to him stirring, pressing a kiss to my temple, murmuring, "Morning, artist." And in that quiet, with the distant rumble of the subway and the aroma of fresh coffee brewing, I knew love wasn't a bar fight or a slammed door. Who was this showing up, scars and all, for the rewrite? We'd broken once, but chance, that sly Brooklyn thief, handed us the glue. And damn if we didn't make it stick.